What's going on, guys? Welcome to the No Excuses Podcast, episode 7, Living Life by Design and Not by Default. Woo! This one's going to be powerful, meaningful, and definitely something to let simmer in your brain. And hopefully it can, help you pivot your brain and make some crucial changes. Guys, so first thing, this podcast was supposed to be released last week, and I recorded the whole thing straight from the heart, super energized, everything. And then when I went to go do the editing, unfortunately, it didn't have no audio. So I hope I could bring the same energy and same enthusiasm and same mindset that I had on the original one, and give out my perspective on what I'm about to tell you. Guys, so let's dive in and get right to it. So, guys, living life by design and not by default, man. Like, this is huge. Like, guys, let me say it one more time: living life by design and not by default. I want you guys to repeat that in your head about 10 times. Living life by design and not by default. It's probably one of the most important decisions that you will make in your life. It's an ongoing decision, it's a daily decision, it's a decision that's made on the minute, on the hour, on the day, on the month, on the year, and on just ongoing. If you live life by design, you don't waste any time. If you live life by design, you don't spend time with the wrong people. You don't spend time and energy at the wrong career. You don't settle for anything because you design your life the way you want it. And ideally, it's prosperous in every single way, which means an ideal marriage, an ideal relationships, ideal body, ideal mindset, ideal career, ideal body. But if you live life by default, meaning that it just is what it is. And God, I hate it is what it is, man. I refuse to live life as it is what it is. And just so many of you go day in and day out living life like it is what it is. And man, I'm telling you, you're missing out. You're missing out so bad. You don't understand, man. Like, life can be so freaking beautiful. And guys, this is coming from a guy that grew up around war, grew up around combat, grew up around gangs, grew up around organized crime, grew up living 6 people in one bedroom, grew up with freaking missiles coming at me as a kid, getting jumped, man, being the weird kid, being the bilingual kid. I've had so many freaking setbacks. I can't even tell you. So I've had every reason to just like crawl into a hole and just be this loser. But instead, I refused to live my life by default and worked hard, prayed hard, and designed my life the way I want it. How many heartbreaks and heartaches and headaches did I have before met my wife? I didn't settle for those girls. I could have, but who knows what kind of shitty life I would have had. Getting married, being married, I didn't settle just for an okay marriage. I worked, I complained, I bitched, I modified, I looked at myself, and I constantly pivoted to become the best husband and to make sure my wife became the best wife in order for me to live the life that I want to live. I cannot tell you guys how many guys that I know that get laid once a month, once a week, once every other week, not get laid at all, no have zero intimacy with their partners. Guys, and when I talk to these people, you know what they tell me? It is what it is. Oh, that's just how my wife is. Or that this is just how my husband is. Really? This is what you're settling for? Are you serious? Like you got to negotiate. It has to be your birthday or a holiday or a special occasion for you to have intimacy with your spouse. What kind of fucking fucked up loser shit living by default that is? Guys, there's no way on earth that I would accept that. I accept. I know there's probably kids listening to this, man. I hope not too many, but like, man, for me, it's booty almost daily, man. I have to. It's mandatory. I don't accept anything else. You don't understand that. Get it through your head, man. Like my expectations of what I want in my life are in high demand. And if I don't get them, there's going to be a problem. Now, when you say, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to abuse her? No, I'm not going to abuse her. I'm going to cause a fit. Okay, I'm going to cause a problem. I'm going to cause an issue. I'm going to bring up a conversation, an uncomfortable one. Okay, to make sure that at the end of the day, that I live my life the way I want to live my life and not like some fucking loser who lives by default and just accept things as the way they are and life passes him by and before you know it, like he's like, man, I wish I got rid of that relationship, or I wish I worked on my relationship, or I wish I didn't settle for this shitty relationship. Well, you know what, man, it's too fucking late. What about the things that you expect, from relationships? Like, guys, everybody knows, man, I put in a lot of hours, guys. I put in a lot of hours, with my 3 businesses. And I tell the guys all the time, guys, when I get home, I expect a hot home cooked meal from my wife served to me on the table with a big smile and a big welcome. Yaniv, how was your day? Kiss, hug. Here's your warm meal, honey. What can I do for you? Do you know some guys I talk to, their wives never cook them food? They got to fix their own food. They got to go get food out. Okay, this is what you settled for, my friend. So this is what you get. You might say, oh man, this guy, he's like chauvinistic, or he's, no, guys. I provide my wife with everything she could ever imagine and more. She lives like a fucking princess, a queen, you know? She's got a smile from year to year. I make sure her expectations and her needs are met daily, and she makes sure that my needs and expectations are met daily. And that's how you have real good marriage. That's how you have a marriage by design and not by default. What about careers, man? Like, so many people, man, waking up daily, grounding. Man, I got to go to work today. Every day I wake up, guys, like first thing, I always beat the alarm clock. Always. There's never been a day where the alarm wakes up before me. It just doesn't happen. You know why? Because I'm enthusiastic. I am thrilled to take on the day, to see my clients, to get on the phones, to get on my chats, to get on social media, to go teach my classes. I am thrilled. I'm so excited to see everybody, shake hands, give hugs, share my knowledge, and do what I do. And that's why I chose this as a career. So, how can you go day in and day out going into a career or a business that you hate, that you despise, that you wish that you could switch, but you're too much of a fucking coward to switch it? Guys, I'm sorry about when I say things, they might hurt your feelings, but it's meant to hurt your feelings. It's meant for you to make a damn change. I don't want you going to a business that you hate. I don't want you coming home to a woman that you cannot stand or a man you can't stand. I don't want that. So I'd rather call you a coward and piss you off and get into your brain and tickle that part to get you to make a change, to work on it or get out of it. So, or make the best out of your career, out of your marriage, out of your whatever, or stop fucking bitching. Because that's the worst trait you can have is bitching. Stop bitching, stop complaining, and Get after it. Why are you guys settling all the damn time? Why are you living life by default? Oh, well, I got this job and it pays okay. And, it pays my bills and it gives me the weekends off. So I'm fine. Well, you know what, man? You weren't meant to live your life for the weekends. Okay? You weren't meant to wake up every day being miserable. Like, you have the ability, guys. And this is, again, like every time I do a podcast, I explain living in United States of America, the greatest country in the world, in this universe that we know of. You have the ability to do whatever you want. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a businessman, you want to be an influencer, whatever it is you want. You want to be a teacher, whatever you like, you can go ahead and be. No one's stopping you. It's up to you. You don't have money, you could take loans. You can, like, there's so many things you can do to reach your goals, to reach your dreams. So why are you living life by default? Why are you so scared to make a change? Why are you so scared to get out of your comfort zone? Why are you so scared to move on to bigger and better things? Good things never come easy. They're not supposed to. So you're supposed to be uncomfortable. You're supposed to be nervous. You're supposed to doubt. But inside you say, hey, I don't care. As the old saying, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Be on your feet. Be a man or a woman. Stand on your 2 feet and go after the life that you want. Stop being scared to what if? Well, what if I do this and I fail? Okay. So you fail, you get back up and you do it again. Well, if you fail and you're just going to go back to your same miserable life anyways, right? Aren't you? So like this is an opportunity to fail forward, right? You fail with a little bit more lessons, with a little bit more technique, with a little bit more knowledge on what it is that you're trying to accomplish. I had a guy I used to train, and he couldn't stand his marriage, and he says, "Man, Yaniv, if I get a divorce, I'm going to lose a half of everything." And the guy was, like middle-aged man, and I said, "Man, is half of your money worth the other half of your life? You could always make more money. You could always open up another business. You can always do things all over again, but you can't buy your time back. So every single day that you spend your most precious asset, which is your time, living by default in the wrong business or in the wrong marriage or in the wrong body, whatever it is, it's time that you can't get back. No matter how much money you have, you can't get it back. If you told me right now, Yaniv, you have to give $5 million to your wife. We're going to say I can't stand my wife. You're 43 years old, give $5 million to your wife, and you have to start over. If I couldn't stand her, I'll throw the money. I'll throw the $5 million quick because I'll make the $5 million again. Believe me. But this time, free and happy. What is all the money in the world if you got to wake up brokenhearted? If you got to wake up feeling alone? If you got to wake up hating your job? You got to wake up with a shitty ass body? Come on. This is the truth. How come nobody wants to tell you the fucking truth? They want to keep you in your shitty ass position, right? Like people tell me, oh, well, I've been married for this long or whatever. It's like, okay, what was the quality of it? What was the quality? How many times a week did you guys have sex? How many times a week did you guys go out and actually enjoy each other? How many times a week did you come home enthusiastically, can't wait to see your spouse, your husband or wife? How many times a week did you feel that energy of love and passion? Okay? If you don't feel any of that, you got a freaking problem. You need to work on your marriage or get the hell out. How many days a week did you feel like that about your business? Do you wake up happy every day, enthusiastic to go to work and make a change and make things better for yourself, for your family, and for your community? If you don't, you're on the wrong route. Now, let me clarify myself. If you're a young guy, right? You're a young guy and you have to go work at a restaurant. You have to you're you're starting your career, you're working a job that maybe you don't love, but it's leading you towards where you want to be. It's okay. But this conversation is not for the people who are starting out. This conversation is for the people who have already been there. The mid 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60-year-olds. Like you're 30 years old, you should already have your path. You should already know where your time is going and where it's investing in. You should not be investing any time by living life by default. People see me like, oh man, are you at the beach again? Yes, I am, motherfucker. As a matter of fact, I'm going again on Saturday. How do you like that? Oh man, I wish I can live like you. No, you don't. You don't wish you can live like me. That's a lie. You just talk about living like me, but you don't want to live like me. If you want to live like me, you would take the chances that I take. You would do the things that I do to live a life like me. You know, guys, like living the life that I live comes with chance and risk and taking opportunities and being willing to fail and also being willing to say no to more money and so on and so on. I could make a lot more money than I make, but I choose also living my life. I understand that if I have to make more money, it's going to take away more hours out of my life. And I don't want to trade those hours. So I'm willing to trade only so many hours of my life to make X amount of dollars. But the other hours I have, I want to spend them at the beach. I want to spend them riding my Harley. I want to spend them with my wife. I want to spend them with my children. I want to spend them with my dogs. I want to spend them on self improvement, reading and writing and doing podcasts and doing all the things that I feel like I can give back to the community. Money is just a part of my life. It's not my whole life. Some people, they get all fucked up. They just want to work and work and make money, money, money. But then everything else, they're losing everywhere else. Guys, that's not acceptable to me. So if you would like to go to the beach, put in your schedule. You know, I was talking to one of my clients on the No Excuses program actually yesterday. And they were telling me that they love the beach. And they were telling me that they live a mile away from the beach. And then they told me that they haven't been in the beach in 4 years because they're so damn busy with work. And when you're on my No Excuses All In program, guys, I give you a task list. And the task list is things that you have to do monthly, okay, to improve your life, things that will make your life better. So I forced this person to put into their schedule, like a meeting, that they have to go to the beach twice a week. And they're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I was like, of course you can. Make the time because you will not find the time. Work will always steal you away from what you want to do. Okay. And guys, don't get it twisted. Always, 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 right? Work before pleasure, business before pleasure. But it can't be all business. And it definitely cannot be all pleasure. Right? By you putting in your hard work, you got to also take time to balance out your soul, your mind, your body. You know, guys, like everything has to be in sync. Your vibration has to be glowing. Your frequency has to be moving the right direction. If not, it's going the wrong direction. You become toxic. You don't even realize it. You don't take that break to go to the beach. You don't take that break to go to the gym. You don't take that break to eat right. You're becoming toxic. How many of you are eating at your desk daily or eating on the go? Is that living life by design or by default? You're basically a freaking what do you call those hamster on a wheel. You just go 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 go. And you're exhausted and you're tired, so then you drink another coffee and then you go 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 go. And then you're tired and you're exhausted, so you drink another Red Bull and you go 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 go. and then finally you just fucking crash and you get sick. Do you know, have you ever met people that are always sick? Why are they sick? I'll tell you exactly why they're sick. Unless they have, God forbid, a bad disease. The reason that they're always sick, getting colds and flus and all this bullshit, is because their immune system's down. Do you think your immune system is down because you live in life by design or by default? When you live in life by design, you got breaks, you got time at the beach, you got time where you just meditate for yourself, you got time at the gym, you got time at jiu-jitsu, you got time taking a walk, you got time with your kids, you got time with your wife, you got time just for being you. But when you live in life by default and you just go, 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 your body's going to break down. You're going to get sick. You're going to feel ill. You're not going to be able to be vibrant. You're going to be toxic. And the way your body deals with being toxic is by getting colds and flus all the damn time. So take a step back and say to yourself, how do I make a change? Well, Yaniv, my boss, he or she does not let me get off work at this time. But you know what, my friend? God forbid you really got sick or something really bad happened to you. They'll replace you in a millisecond. So why don't you have a man or a woman conversation with your boss and say, hey, boss man, unless you want me to have a complete meltdown, all right, I am willing to put in the 8 to 10 hours a day. I got no problem with that. But at this time, I need to be out of here. So, why do you need to be out of here? Because I need to go be with my kids. I need to have dinner with my family. I need to go to the beach. I need to be at the gym. You must have perimeters. Living life by design is a life with perimeters. Is being able to say no. I say no all the time. Guys, I say no to everybody all the time. Not because I'm a dick, not because I have ill will, not because I just feel like saying no. I say no because if I don't say no, everybody will take every second of my life, right? Everyone constantly needs me. So I have to say no. Living life by design, I gotta say no so I have time for myself. The other day, man, a really good friend of mine, really good friend, he reached out to me and he's like, hey, Yaniv, man, I want to get back to the gym. He's like, you think I can work out with you? And I said, no. And this guy's my brother. I said, no. And I replied immediately and I said, the reason I'm saying no is not because anything against you. I said, I'm saying no because that's my time. You have to have the courage, guys. You have to have the courage. If you want to live life by design, you must have the courage to say no. People invite me to weddings that are out of distance, they're out of, the country. And I say no. It's not part of my design. It's part of your design. You want to get married in freaking Israel? Go. I'm not going. Nothing against you or your family or your wife or anybody. You want to go here? You want to go there? Good for you. I'm saying no. That's me living life by design. It's my life. It's my time. You invite me to a party and I don't feel like going. I'm saying no. You invite me to an event. You invite me to anything. In general, you'll hear me say no. Not because I don't want to just go. It's because I have my life. I can't live my life around everybody else. Because every moment of my day will be at a party, at a barbecue, at here, 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 here. And every once in a while, I'll go if it fits my life by design. You might say, man, are you being selfish? And I want to tell you, yes, I am. I am being selfish because if I don't protect my time, if I don't design my life how I want it to be, I wouldn't have my life. I would just be living everybody else's life. So you guys know I have 5 kids. So at the beginning we had 4 kids in 3.5 years, guys. And all 4 kids are in school, and all 4 kids, each kid has about 25 kids in their classroom. Guys, I swear to you, before I learned to say no, every weekend I was at one or two freaking birthday parties. Okay. At Johnny's, at Nicole's, at this, at that. Because you know how it is, man. When parents have a birthday party, they give invitations. Hey, Johnny, give invitations to everybody in your classroom. So then your kid comes home, and he comes home with all these invitations. Oh, Dad, I want to go. So now it's not just going at 2 o'clock on a Saturday or 11 a.m. on a Sunday. It's you got to get the kid a gift. You got to stop whatever it is you're doing. You got to go to the party. You got to schmooze with a bunch of people that you might not want to schmooze with or have the energy to schmooze with because you're tired from working all week or whatnot. And then you got to eat a bunch of shitty food, pizzas and ice creams and cakes and all kinds of other garbage, right? I don't want that life. So after about a few years of doing that shit almost every weekend, my kid's like, oh, so and so has a party. I said, I'm not going. Ask your mother. If she wants to go, she can go. I ain't going. And guys, I stopped going to every single kid's birthday party. If you got to pull me to a kid's birthday party, man, like, oh boy, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be super, that kid has to be super special to me, you know? But just don't do it. Here's another one for parents. Parents, you work your asses off all day long, provide for your children. You keep them busy by putting them in sports. So I love jujitsu, man, like way more than any freaking city sport, especially for the parents. And I'll explain to you why. Jiu-jitsu is you can take your kids 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, whatever you want, but it's on the same location and it's at the same time. When these parents I know and their kids are in soccer or lacrosse or football or volleyball or any of this stuff, they're traveling all over the damn state and country sometimes. It's nonstop. It's nonstop. And it's every day, it's every week, it's every weekend, and their whole life. And the parents are exhausted. I know because these parents vent to me. They're friends of mine, they're clients of mine. They're exhausted. I see it in their eyes, I see it in their posture. I see it. They're all pale, they look like shit, they feel like shit, and they're just running themselves ragged to take their kids to all these different practices and all these different events and all these different games. So here's what I told my kids. Hey, my son said, Dad, I want to play football for the city. I said, I'm not taking you. Oh, mom will take me. I said, your mom won't take you either. He says, why not? I said, because your mom has to cook dinner, take care of the home, and do 8 different things. She has 4 other children to take care of besides you. So guess what? You want to go to football, city football, you better ride your bicycle and figure it out. When you go to high school and there's a bus and there's an actual official team and they can ride and take you everywhere you need to go, then you can join. Okay, Dad. And that's the way it was. Because I'm not spending every weekend on a different field with 5 different kids. It's not going to happen. Because I live Yaniv Rosenberg's life by design. Not by your design, not by what society thinks my design should be, by my design. This is huge what I'm telling you guys. This comes like with willpower. And sometimes I'll say no to things. And people say, you want to come to this? And I'll say no. And so what do you be doing? I said, watching Seinfeld. What does it matter what I'm doing? I already said no. And I learned this from one of my mentors. He's like, you got to live your life. You got to know what you like and what you don't like. And that's it. And follow through with it. Guys, so like, this is huge. Every day, ask yourself, how am I living? Am I living the life that I want to live? Or am I living the life what society wants me to live? What my parents want me to live? What my friends want me to live? Live your life. Are you getting shit faced? Why are you getting shit faced? Is that your life? Are you smoking drugs every day? Weed? Numbing yourself? Is that your life? Is that your life by design? Being lackadaisical and numb all the time? What is your life about? Why are you even here? What are you doing here? Where are you going from here? Are you proud? Are you happy with what you got going on? If you're not living life by design. You're living life by default. And living life by default is a shameful life. This brings up the conversation of like when you hear like people say like, oh, these jobs should pay more. Like minimum wage, right? They talk about that, and I say, no, my friend, they shouldn't pay more. The design is not meant for you, a fucking grown up, to still be working at McDonald's, making $12 an hour. It's meant for kids 15, 16, 17, 18 to work and to make a few dollars while they're going to high school or college. Right? It's not meant for you there. So you're not supposed to be paying rent and car payments and insurance and buying food for your family working at freaking McDonald's. Okay? If you do that, you're living life by default. Live your life by design. I will work at McDonald's from 15 to 16. At 16, I'm going to get a job at a restaurant. I'm going to work there from 16 to 18. And then I'm going to go to school or not go to school. I'm going to learn a trade. I'm going to go through the ropes and so on and so on. Design your life. Design your life to the way you want it. Which brings me, anytime I coach anybody and they tell me about a goal, and if they're on my program or they're my friend, I'll tell them, does this goal align with your overall life goal? Oh, what do you mean? Let me repeat what I just said. Hey, I want to make $1 million a year. Yaniv, I want to make $1 million a year. Oh, great, awesome. How are you going to do that? Well, I got to open up a second company. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do that. Okay, great. Now, by doing that, it's going to require what? How many hours? And how much money? Well, it's going to require probably another 30 hours a week. It's probably going to require another this or that. And okay. All right, cool. Now, does that project or does that move align with your overall goal in life? Oh, well, what do you mean? Well, by doing that, is that going to take time away from you? Is that going to take time away from your family? Is that going to take time away from your children, your wife, your hobbies, your crafts, all the things that you enjoy to do? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so then the goal is no good. It's no good. I'm sorry. You're going the wrong route. So then you might say, well, what about sacrifice? Of course, you need to sacrifice, but there's also times in your life that you should be sacrificing and not be sacrificing. Right? There needs to be an understanding. If I am going to sacrifice, well, for how long am I going to sacrifice for? Well, that's why they tell you when you're young, you work your fucking ass off. You build because you don't have a family yet. You don't have to be home at dinner at a certain time. You don't have to cater to your children. You don't have to do certain things. So while you're young, you should be hustling. You should be grinding. So as you age and you start that family, you're already more established. You still have to grind, but you're a little bit be more established where you can be more balanced. Because I promise you, if you're not balanced, okay, if you don't have a good balance, an overall life balance, you will fucking fail. You will fail. Which brings me to a point. When I was trying to be a world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was training twice a day, once a day at Cyborgs and once a day at my academy, and then lifting weights whenever I can. And in between, I would literally just sleep and teach. Long story short, I go to fight the world championships. I ended up losing 0-0. The match was 0-0. And I go back to my hotel and I was just like broken. Like, man, how can I lose 0-0? I trained so hard, blah, 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 whatever. The guy won by an advantage because I said something to the referee. Anyways, long story short, when I got back home, I was talking to my mother-in-law, and I told her how bad I wanted to be a world champion. And you know what she said to me? She said to me one of the most powerful things. She says, Yaniv, you don't need to be a world champion in jiu-jitsu. You need to be a world champion father. You need to be a world champion husband. And that hit me hard, man. I said, wow. Because if I would have won the world's championship that year, I know my personality. I'm going to want to win it again next year. And then the next year and the next year. But I feel like I had to lose it. I had to lose it to get my priorities straight. And I realized by training insane amount of hours that I was neglecting my wife. I was neglecting my children. So by design, I stopped competing and training that hard because it was a different phase of my life. All the young guys out there, you want to be world champions? This is your time. Don't wait to be a world champion in your 30s when you should already be established with your life, your business, your career, your family. Okay? Because it takes sacrifice, man. You can be a world champion in your 30s or even in your 40s. But something is going to give. And are you willing to give that sacrifice? Right? Are you willing to sacrifice your marriage because you're training 24/7? Are you willing to be away from your children because you're training 24/7? Are you willing to not make any real money because you're training 24/7? Everything has its price. Live your life by design. When I was in my mid 20s, I got an offer to be one of the trainers at NBC, The Biggest Loser. But one of the deals was I had to go to California and live there without my family. And I already had my business and I already had my children. I was in my late 20s, and I had to make a decision. And I knew for a fact that if I was going to take that opportunity, I would end up breaking up my family because I would be away from them for 6 months. There'll be a lot of women over there. I'm a good looking guy. I'll be out in Hollywood, and then I would fall for the trap. And my wife would be home lonely, and I would be away from my children, and I would be away from my business, and things wouldn't just work out. So I said no to the opportunity. Could have made me rich and famous, okay, but I would have lost all the meaningful things in my life. So again, living life by design is not just picking the right career and having the right relationships. It's the choices that you make daily. Do you want that opportunity? Maybe the opportunity is going to be good for you. Maybe it's not. You need to think about that. How is it going to design your life by taking it or not taking it? The last thing I want to talk about living life by design is about your body, about your attitude, about your views. If you look at your body and you're not completely satisfied with it, you are living life by default. And pisses me off so bad when I talk to former friends from high school and college and they look like fucking dog shit. And I said, yo, man, why don't you come to jiu-jitsu? Why don't you get on my No Excuses program? And they say, I'm married, I'm working. It is what it is. And I just look at them like fools. I'm like, you guys are fools. Why would you be in a sickly body? Why would you be in an ugly body? Has any human ever looked at anything sick or ugly and was like, yeah, I want that? I can't wait to get that belly. I can't wait to wear those dirty clothes. I can't wait to be sitting in bed sick with a disease. It makes no fucking sense. That's called living life by default. You're literally going to be defaulting to ugliness, sickness, and atrophy. Your body's just going to go to hell, which in return, okay, will get you no intimacy, less business relationships, less everything. So stop living life by default and get after it. Check your ego. If you need help, get help. If you think you could fucking do it on your own, do it on your own. Okay? People don't realize like some of the best people in the world, athletes, business people, they all have coaches. They all have coaches. But for some reason, man, like the average Joe Schmo has this ego problem where he thinks or she thinks, I'll do it on my own. I know what to do. Well, sure you do. That's why you look the way you look and your life is the way it is. You know what I mean? Because you refuse to learn from others. You refuse to have accountability to others so you can level up. What about your mindset? Okay. If your mindset's always negative, you choose that. You live in life by default. Why not live life by design? Say, hey, I don't want to listen to negative shit. So I'm going to turn off the news. I'm not going to follow anybody that's negative. I'm going to follow people that inspire me and push me to become better. That's living life by design. I'm not going to get into arguments about politics. I'm not going to get into all this bullshit. Living life by design. When things don't go my way, I'm going to look at the cup half full and not half empty. Living life by design. Choose how you look at your life. Live life by design and not by default. So, what I would like for you to do, guys, before I wrap this podcast up, is to take a piece of paper and write down what is your ideal life? What is your ideal marriage? What is your ideal amount of children you want to have? How would your children be? What ideally, how would you want them to be? What is your ideal income, business, lifestyle? What days do you want off? How do you want your body to be? How do you want to feel? So on and so on and so on. And create a blueprint, right? And say, how do I do this? And start making changes towards all of that. And watch your life change. The universe will coincide with you, will go with you when you start making firm decisions. Things will be better if you put in positive and good energy into this earth. Guys, thank you again. I really hope this damn microphone is working and it recorded everything. Guys, please share, subscribe, repost. Guys, this is my passion, man, to help as many people as possible. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful, amazing, kick-ass day. And we'll see you on the next one. No excuses. Usa.